A surprise Gillcast on a Monday afternoon. We really weren't going to do the show, but frankly, I thought yesterday's slate, the Week 11 cash game slate, was so interesting that we kind of had to do a show. First off, Nate, you and I basically never play the same team. This is of all the years that we've done this, I would guess we played the same. I mean, we've been doing this, a decade? Yeah. Probably. I would guess we played the same team maybe 5 times ever. Yeah. Sammy and I have played the same team every so often, normally because Sammy will have a Sunday where he's with his kids and he's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm just jamming this in. The projections say this team is good. I'm gonna do it. And I thought by far the most interesting thing about this slate was that our team was not even the primary train. It was very, very owned, but was not the prime. There was 2 big trains. One of them scored 154 point whatever, and ours scored 158.95. And I just
that was Levitan's team, right?
The Dowdle team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it was. I have
that team pulled up.
Yeah, I have the ETR Optos up, which weirdly the Dowdle team is not in it.
It was Dowdle and Wandale over Chase or over
CMC
and
a lot of people played Wandale Robinson. Wandale Robinson was 39.5% owned. Let's just do the teams here real quick. Yep. So the team that Nate and I played was Jacoby Brissett, Jalen Warren, Chase Brown, Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, Jamar Chase, Trey McBride, Christian McCaffrey, and the Titans. The locks of the slate were Warren, Brown, Wilson, and McBride. And you had to figure out how to work there. You basically had 2 choices at quarterback. You could have played Jacoby Brissett for $4,900 DraftKings dollars, and you could have played JJ McCarthy for $5,200 DraftKings dollars. I actually tried to figure out how to play Purdy in cash because I was like, dude, $5,800 Purdy against this team. He's going to get a bazillion points. He did get a lot of points, but you just couldn't make it work. Now, Nate, did you try and play Jameis Winston?
I didn't. If I played Wandale, I probably would have. If I was going to go down the Wandale route, I probably would have with Jameis, you just know what you're going to get. You know you're going to get the volume. You know you're going to get interceptions. You know you're going to get some shots that he's going to what you're going to get. But no, I thought the Brissett Arizona thing.
We played the new Jameis Winston. I mean, imagine if Jameis had a good matchup, he played Tennessee or something like that. We all would have jammed him in, no fucking question. But instead we got the new Jameis Winston, the man who makes legends.
I can't believe you guys played this team with me. I literally thought I was going to be the only one who's going to play. The fact that you guys all did the triple stack with me and Greg Dortch, this is the grossest triple stack ever. And you guys, I've done this now 3 times in cash this year. It's worked out the first time this week. I thought you guys would rake me over the coals for this.
No, so we got a text early Sunday morning. I texted the boys and I said, "Hey, it's a tough week," and it was. And I asked Davis, "What do the optos look like?" Because obviously I was hanging out with my kids. And then Davis texted me, what some of the optos were saying, and then he texted, "But here's the grown man's team." And it's a Giga Arizona stack. And I'm like, that's exactly what I have. And Nate goes, that's exactly what I have. And so we actually all arrived at it independently, which was really, really curious. And, it's not something that I like doing in cash, as you can see pictured here on the screen. I actually split. So I wanted to ask you guys about the splitting and how you thought about that, but we can a bit more about the lineup and then get into the split that I made.
So
the team that most people played in cash, the biggest train team, was the Dowdle.
How many points was that? Oh, here we go. This is it. This is it right here.
Yeah.
So this is it right here. Brissett, Warren, Chase Brown, Michael Wilson, Jamar Chase. So it's just a 2.
No,
it's actually
this team has Aaron Jones. That's not.
This is the ETR optimal. 154.88 is the ETR optimal with the Texans defense and Aaron Jones.
The main team that everybody played that I saw was it was Rico and Wandale over CMC and Dortch.
Correct.
And that scored. What did that score?
It scored 154.88.
Wait, was there two teams that tied at 154.88? Holy shit.
It must have.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow. Massive trains collide. Oh, shit.
Okay,
these guys all made $4.33.
I mean, is that an all-time? Dude, no, they didn't tie. They were separated by 0.1. Look at this.
Okay, they didn't tie. Yeah,
okay.
154.88 was the Dowdle team.
The Dowdle team is Brissett, Warren, Brown, Wilson, Chase, Wandale, McBride, Dowdle, Titans. That's one train team. The other train team was 154.98 with Jonnu. What did people play? No, this is it. There was another team that tied at 154.98 that had Aaron Jones and the Texans defense instead of Dowdle. Over Dowdle and the
Jesus H. Christ. Like, imagine playing $3,700 Texans defense on this slate.
Well, like, it was in the like if you depending on which provider you used, you were getting Texans defense in the in fact, they're even if I pull up, so I've got the Run the Sim stuff up. Looks like the Texans defense was here in the fourth opto with Josh Jacobs. That seems terrible. That would have been an all-time. That would have been an all-time.
Even though he got hurt, you got what you deserved.
Yeah, that would have been. There you go. Okay, so Boomer020 says 154.78 was the big train, and I guess maybe can I not scroll down far enough? Yeah, I can't even. You can't even see it.
Did it? Oh, it lost by 0.1.
It lost by 0.1. In the
so this is the big train at 0.98, 0.88, and 0.78.
Yes.
Damn, son, that's freaking crazy.
I mean, we are to the point of the year. We've talked about this stuff a little bit, but there is a little bit of value in maybe sacrificing half a point, 0.75 of a point, just to not be this team, right? Just to not be the team. Like this team right here, quote unquote, cashed the giant $50 double up, but returned, I mean, if I click on it, yeah, did not even return full value, only got $89.53 back. So basically lost 10% of their expected winnings because the team was duped so hard.
Yeah, obviously when I looked at the teams, the Wandale Dowdle team is a team that I typically would play because Wandale at 5,500, Wandale, his expectation for his workload and Dowdle, like if you look at those combined expected points versus CMC and Dortch, the lean is probably going to be towards the Dowdle team. It's more balanced. Dortch could have been a 0.
It would have been so hard for him to have been a 0.
No, but
strong disagree, Nate. Strong disagree.
Wandale could have seen 15 targets in this game. Wandale being Jameis's wide receiver 1 could have very easily but Wandale is not a structural fit for Jameis. Like the guy you want to play with Jameis is Darius Slayton, and wow, shout out my boy Flock buying me around. What a fucking guy. This guy.
Are you going to talk about this at all, Davis?
I mean, dude, Mason literally runs the most successful independent fantasy football YouTube channel on earth and has time to come and slum it with a dude like me. So I very much appreciate Mason. Yeah. So Wandale, Nate, you know this better than anyone. You know the type of guys who randomly smash with Jameis? It's
Jalen Hyatt,
Brashad Perryman,
yes.
Right? It's the guys who are just like Jameis, like doesn't care.
It's the high A deep threats who don't ever convert targets. It's the Adonai Mitchells. It's the guys like that you want with. If
Slayton had played in that game yesterday, I would have been very tempted to have played.
That's what Jameis wants. Jameis wants big plays.
Yeah, I feel like, and maybe this is saying too much, going too far, but I felt like Wandale was a you don't know ball play. You know what I mean? I could have seen him getting a lot of targets. He projected fine, but like there was a huge part of me that said, look, Wandale's just going to be Wandale. You know what I mean? Like he's just going to do what he does regardless. It's not going to this Jameis thing and Slayton being out isn't going to like provide him a big boost. Maybe that was wrong, but and I just wasn't sold on that.
Frankly, I did not consider Wan'Dale at all. If I would have played a 5K wide receiver, it would have been Parker Washington or Juwan Jennings. I liked Juwan Jennings and Parker Washington, particularly Jennings. Right, Jennings is just like, I mean, he's a Kyle Shanahan wide receiver one. He's got a really strong floor and a super high ceiling in any given game.
Pearsall was back, and so I felt like it was a little dubious how that was
Rizzy split. All due respect, he's a fake alpha.
Fair.
I don't know. I would not do. I'm not going to dunk on the Wan'Dale thing because
I'm not gonna dunk on it. I don't think it was bad.
I mean, maybe that's what it sounded like when I said you don't know ball. I just didn't see the boost there. You know what I mean? Like
it's a value is what it is. You're not getting it because you think it's a great situation. You're getting it because at 5,500 plus Dowdle, you're getting like just a great expected volume for a value. And I think the Dowdle Wan'Dale team more often than not beats Dortch CMC. It just does.
Well, we're
11 minutes in. We have not mentioned this, but the thing that you said that is wrong is that the fucking CMC team just never loses. You got to find a way to get him in. This guy has had one game below 25 points all year. He got, dude, they just feed this guy touchdowns. He is Keenan Allen, like prime Keenan Allen, and like Cleveland Browns Kareem Hunt in the same guy. You get those stats in the same guy. It's you. I think it was not even that hard to play him. I think you had to play CMC.
I don't think you understand how good Dowdle's workload it was. I don't think you understand how Dowdle's workload. Dowdle got 19 rushing attempts and 7 targets. Man, I have some $4,000 less than CMC.
Not $4,000 less. He was 68 and he was 20.
Okay, $3,000 less. Basically, him and
no, $2,200 less.
Him and Wan'Dale.
Christian McCaffrey. Come on, bro.
Listen, I played the CMC team. Obviously, I thought the CMC team was good, but I am saying, looking back, the fact that Dortch went 6 of 6 and converted every touch or every target he got to a catch, the fact that Wan'Dale went, I don't know, 2 of 9, 3 of 9 or whatever. I do think we ran hot.
This is why you're both wrong, right? Nate, you're wrong that this side of the thing doesn't come through more than the other side. Davis, you're wrong that it's about CMC, even though it's a fair point. It's about Greg Dortch, the goddamn GOAT. Greg Dortch was never going to fail. You guys don't understand. He was never going to fail. I'm so mad that I split teams, even though it didn't cost me any money. It just cost me like alpha status because Davis, you can back me up here. Greg Dortch may be tiny, but this guy's a freaking GOAT.
When he starts, so this is going to be an outdated number. It used to be the stat was any game that he ran over 60% of the routes, he averaged 13 PPR points per game. It's probably different than that now, but I'm just looking at the Cardinals roster. There was absolutely no way that Dortch was not going to get the routes yesterday because they didn't have a backup for him. Like, if you look at this,
that's why I felt comfortable going with so much of the Arizona exposure, because I literally said, like, this is going to go somewhere. They're not going to run the ball with Amari DiMercato 40 times a game. They're just not. So, like, you knew Jacoby was going to drop back and pass a ton, and it was going to go to McBride, Wilson.
And the other thing is, so the other thing on top of that is a lot of these teams that are just getting shit blasted just give up in the second half. They take the whole clock down. They run the ball. We have like definitive evidence that the Cardinals are not doing that. That they've been shit blasted in every game that Jacoby Brissett has played other than one, and they have kept trying to score until the final. Now, is this advised? I don't think it's advised, but they do just keep going for it to the point that Jacoby Brissett yesterday set the National Football League record for completions in a game. Jacoby Brissett set the record for completions in a game yesterday.
Guys, we played a goddamn Cardinals giga stack in cash and the quarterback completed the NFL record for completions in a game. How goddamn pure do we run? It's there's got to be something in the air, Davis. There's got to be something in the air. I don't know what it is, but the run good is here.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually, I want to talk about this stuff when we get into we'll do it real quick on tournaments because I didn't have any good tournament teams yesterday because I didn't play Jacoby Brissett in cash, but I more want to talk about it from like a structural thing because the team that won the Millionaire Maker on DraftKings.com was a 3v3 versus the Cash Train.
Was it Bryce Young and Tet?
No, it was
Really?
Bijan Robinson, someone else in flex, someone else at defense.
But it was Jacoby.
It was,
Damn.
I believe it was Nico Collins, Bijan Robinson, and some other defense with this team.
Lit.
I didn't have a good tournament week at all, but the reason in cash I was surprised that you guys played it is just because you guys have been so against just exposure to a single team that has a chance to.
Well, I agree with you that we normally have been that way with like, oh, these Raiders stacks, these Brown stacks, this whatever.
Yes.
But the Cardinal stuff is the Cardinal stuff. Yes. Okay. The winning team had Tet. Sorry. It was Tet, Bijan, someone else, instead of Jalen Warren, I think actually even. But the reason why you want to do the Cardinal stuff is because of the way they call plays down in the second half. They continue to try and generate fantasy points. Like you wouldn't want to do this. It's funny because the Panthers had such a good fantasy game yesterday, but the Panthers, when the Panthers have been down 3 scores in these games, they have been happy to use all the clock, run it, just run their normal offense. Like the Cardinals come out in the second half and they're like running the ball. Buddy, we are not doing that. We are.
Well, the Cardinals have this great thing going where they finally have a good quarterback. And they're like, oh my God, this is incredible. We haven't had somebody who can move the ball in years, who can complete passes down the field in years. Yeah, we're down. Who gives a shit? Like we're gonna throw the ball around. And it's amazing. And they're gonna put up stats. And I mean, sometimes it is just as simple as that. Like Trey McBride is a complete, he should be 8K with Brissett. I mean, it's crazy. Like Wilson was not even look at that team. Okay.
This is
Wilson was not even a question because
Millie winning team. Brissett was the cash play. Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, Trey McBride, Christian McCaffrey, 5. So the 3v3 was Aaron Jones, which if you'd been using the ECR projections, you would have gotten a ton of Aaron Jones. So it was Aaron Jones, Teteroy McMillan in the Steelers defense versus Jalen Warren, Jamar Chase, and the Titans defense. And that's all you needed to do to win $1 million was a 3v3 off the cash team, which let's come back to that a little bit later because I want to finish doing this. First off, the Josh Palmer thing, the Buffalo Bills score the 4th highest points of any team in a game this season. Josh Palmer gets 3 points. I think you got what you deserved there with the Josh Palmer thing.
Yeah. So let me explain this, and I kind of want to bounce this off of you more so, Nate. I want to bounce this off of you because screw Davis. But so what I did is in all the 50-50s that I played, I did this team, which is essentially Josh Palmer instead of Greg Dortch. Take away my man card a little bit because Greg Dortch is a goat. And then in all my head-to-heads, I played Greg Dortch. Now I have more action in head-to-heads every week than I do in double-ups and 50-50s, but my thinking was that this team would probably be unique enough. And if you look just at straight projection, like ETR had Palmer at 9 and Dortch at 8.5. So
yeah, it's like the same thing.
Yeah, so Palmer was just a touch ahead. 0.5 is kind of splitting hairs. It's pretty much within error bars, but I felt like it lowered my variance a little bit in terms of this full-on game stack, which I think in 50-50s and double-ups I thought was good to do, and I wanted to court the variance in head-to-heads because, the theory is obviously if you have a 90th percentile outcome in double-ups, it doesn't matter. it's binary. But if you have a 90th percentile outcome in head-to-heads, you're going to win 90%, or, over the long term anyway. So I thought courting the variance in head-to-heads was proper. Like I said, it didn't end up costing me anything because this team easily cashed in the double ups as well. But I wanted to know if you do any of that. I know you don't consistently, but should we do more of it, or am I kind of off base here?
I think you're not off base with the reasoning. You're off base with the decision that you actually made, because the decision that you actually made, I actually think, increased your variance. Like in this specific situation, I don't think it's bad reasoning. I just think like Palmer specifically is actually a more volatile play than Greg Dortch because of what Palmer does. He's a high ADOT player who you don't know exactly what his role is going to be in the offense. And you're playing in a Buffalo game where the wind and the weather was like, we had more variance than usual in the passing. And so you basically took less variance, but you took a more variant play, and the less variance that you took, you were basically just swapping off of like, if Jacoby fails, and if Jacoby fails, your lineup's dead anyway. And so basically it's like, I think if you actually simmed your lineup versus this lineup, the only time this lineup beats it is like times that you've already not cashed anyway. And so it doesn't really matter, because like your double ups, you're not trying to optimize for the times that you lose.
Right.
So I think in this situation, I don't know if I would have swapped to that. So
I think it's really what it's doing is it's actually helping you beat other Jacoby Brissett teams. Cause we knew that Brissett was going to be the most owned guy. So the field is already saying,
what was he?
Yeah. He was JJ McCarthy, which we haven't even mentioned. JJ McCarthy, who is 22% owned.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier about Wandale. JJ McCarthy is the ball play. He's so bad.
We all played him last week, right?
Yeah, never again, bro.
So it was a real. I think it was a lot of people who played him last week. I think they came through that experience and they said, "All right, we lived to tell the tale because he got a garbage time touchdown." But yeah, not doing this with.
If you ever felt like bringing back the nah wave, Davis, I think that's a good situation for it.
Yeah, it was quite bad. Is there anything else interesting about this team? I mean, Titans defense was.
I mean, the fact that Jamar Chase did what Jamar Chase did, and I still would do it again. Like, I don't think Jamar was a mistake, even though he tilted the crap out of me yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, look, it just happens with wide receivers sometimes. Sometimes they have bad games. Sometimes defenses just make a real attempt. Basically,
Trey was the best tight end play I've like ever seen. I've never seen such a clear distinction at tight end where it was like, basically, if you didn't play Trey McBride, your lineup was negative EV. Like he was the best. He was the best tight end by 4.8 points, and he compared to the tight end 6, he was literally 100% better than all but 5 of the other tight ends in the pool.
Yeah, that's so sick. But we're talking about Chase being kind of a lock, but there were people who kind of saw this slate in the context of they had to choose between Chase and CMC, right?
Yeah, so which I think I just my opinion, and this is not the way the data has played it out. Like every week, Chase has been in optimals and McCaffrey has not been, and every week I go, that just seems wrong. Every single week, I'm like, that just seems right. It's easier for me to find a 5K shitter wide receiver who I think can get 15 versus. Like, I just know McCaffrey's getting me 20 minimum, 40 maximum every week.
Yeah, I'm interested in your take on this, Nate. I mean, we're seeing good wide running backs at like the 6K, 5.5K level this year as well, and so a lot of the times people are going down. I think this week was a good example with Dowdle or Jalen Warren from CMC, but I'd love to kind of tie it into what you were talking about. You had a tweet earlier, Davis, about how yardage is way down, the way right? The way that the game is being played, the kickoffs, all this stuff is really decreasing yardage. I haven't done a study on it, but I would imagine we're seeing the bonus being hit quite a bit less.
Oh, I've already looked this up, and it's 100% true. It's like startling how and the 300-yard bonus too, by the way, for quarterback.
Absolutely.
It's all way down.
Go on Underdog or Prize Picks and look at the passing props. It's like, 222.5,
222, yeah.
It's just like, oh Jesus, like what happened to this game that I love so much? But how is that, Nate? I'd love a take from you. How's that affecting your decisions in terms of which way you're trying to build, or if you're prioritizing high-priced running backs versus receivers, et cetera?
Well, I think at the end of the day, I just value expected production, and I think typically that will lead towards high-priced running backs, just because CMC, Bijan, A-Chain, these are the guys who are getting it week after week. This week was interesting because you had Dowdle, Aaron Jones, and some other guys who were like values that were projecting for like that expected workload that you could see. So it was unique. And I would say the 49ers have been more willing to not use CMC in goal line situations in the past 3 weeks. That is actually going to hinder CMC's like upside. And I do think like CMC isn't lapping the field in expected points the way he was earlier in the season. And so I think that's a shift that we're going to see. Like
Purdy being back is
massive. Good for his overall efficiency.
Yeah. Purdy is a lot better.
But they're fine giving Brian Robinson a bunch of red zone work, and they're fine where they weren't 5 weeks ago. And I think, I don't know, CMC was like probably 5th in running back expected production this week, where Bijan had a better workload. Devon A-Chain did, so did Dowdle. And that's hard to pay $9,400 for the 5th expected workload. So, but I mean, Chase this week, yeah, I don't know.
So I'll say this by kind of theory, like if yardage and yardage bonuses are meaning less, then de facto touchdowns are meaning more, right? Way more. And so,
but because they happen less doesn't mean they mean less. It actually means the opposite.
Yes. Yeah. No. You're absolutely right. Good catch there. But the bottom line is, you need more guys that score touchdowns. You need more touchdowns. It's harder to make up for touchdowns with yardage these days. And I've always felt like the top end running backs who have a goal line role have more projected scoring opportunities for touchdowns than receivers do. That's kind of the bottom line. So when I see guys like CMC, and to your point, CMC maybe losing a little goal line work, didn't matter this week. He scored 3. Bijan's the guy who, what was Bijan in cash, Davis? Because he was 700 less than CMC, but we saw Algier cuck him a bunch.
He was. I don't think anyone played him in cash. I didn't see anyone with him.
Yeah, because Algier cucked him a bunch last week, right? And people are like, dude, I can't play this guy if he doesn't have 3 touchdowns in his range. And I think he scored 2 right off the bat, and then Algier cucked him for a 3rd, something like that. But yeah, so for me, I tend to lean toward the running backs, especially now. I always have because I'm a boomer, but because of projected touchdown scoring, it just means more these days.
I'm just happy. Like if a given slate I lose because CMC was 30% owned and he doesn't score the most points of any player, although he got beat by Michael Wilson, which is very funny. But let's do tournament talk now.
It does feel very good when you flip over cash and you realize CMC is only 30% on. You have him like that makes you feel very good. If it was 30% on Chase, I would not feel as good. Like
you're just like, oh, I'm probably gonna win, assuming CMC just like gets his projection. Like CMC gets his projection, and I probably just win. I've never seen this before, by the way. I believe this is the only time ever. I literally won every head-to-head that I entered. That's got to be a first time.
It's so sick. I lost one. I lost like a $1, and I was like, son of a bitch. I went through it like you did. I'm like, dude, this is like a straight sweep. And
I played less than I normally did because I just had a kid and I didn't spend a bunch of time registering, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, and I didn't play very many tournament teams.
The new daddy run good. You got to take advantage, man. You got to really ride it out.
All right. So obviously the team that I played in the spy, I don't think is all that interesting. I think the plays I all liked. I thought the ownership on everyone other than Woody Marks here was fine, but I basically spent all night thinking about this, like the current GPP, like sort of meta. And like, I basically did not consider playing Jacoby Brissett with Greg Dortch and Michael Wilson and Trey McBride with a CMC run back in one spot. And that is despite everything I ran on Run the Sims being like, you know what you should do? You should play Jacoby Brissett with Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, Trey McBride, and CMC or Bijan if you feel like it. And I looked at that and I was like, no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack the Kansas City Chiefs against the best or second best defense in the NFL and ride out there. And I guess this is more my question. Is tournament stuff now, like, is basically 2016 DFS thinking completely dead of like, oh, this is an under-owned spot for, like, Lamar was a spot I thought yesterday. I was like, oh, Lamar's 1%. Like, that just like almost has to be wrong, right?
Yeah.
Is it really just as simple as like it's a salary cap game and the Cardinals had all these crazy projections in this really good matchup in a dome and they were just all free? Like, the reason why it was so easy to find winning lineups, even if Michael Wilson had not gone mega nuclear and had just gotten like 20, he still would have been in a ton of winning lineups because of what the salary let you do. And frankly, dude, I just excluded Wilson. I was just like, I'm not.
I did too. I thought he was bad. I thought he was bad chalk.
Yeah, this $3,800 donkey chalk, I'm over. And I did play McBride a ton, and I would do it again at 42% in the SPY. I would do it again. I played, I guess, what's his team? Mahomes at 3%, Chase Brown, Woody Marks, Rashee Rice, Worthy, Jennings, McBride, Harvey, and the Browns defense. I played the Browns defense instead of the Titans in all my tournament stuff because I was like the 27% owned Titans defense or whatever. But obviously did not get there at all. But it's more, I think the Cardinal stuff and like what that means about DFS, I think is more interesting.
Yeah, I feel like you didn't play the Cardinals because you knew you were playing an onslaught in cash, and you're like, no way I'm playing that in a tournament too.
Yeah. There is, of course, there is still low room. Like, if you got Sean Tucker right yesterday, you're absolutely smashing. But sure, like,
there will always be exceptions. There will always be exceptions. But like, if you're gonna play Sean Tucker, you just play straight up chalk, and then just add one Sean Tucker. Like, you don't play it with any other low owned dudes.
Yes, you are more likely to find winning teams with good combinations of chalk, high projected players than you are to consistently outsmart the field with 4% owned Xavier Worthy, who projects like dog shit.
My GPP thing this week, my Sean Tucker was Luther Burden. Right? Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, this is the week before he breaks out, before he gets all the routes. Like, we saw him cut Zacchaeus a little bit last week. I was like, yo, wheels up, and he didn't come through, right?
You were right. You were
right, though. You were right. Luther Burden did cuck Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yes. Give me the Sklansky bucks. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Davis, I do think you're right, and I think that's part of why I'm kicking myself so much for yesterday. The way I played in tournaments, I played so bad in tournaments. This is my worst week. I've played. All of my post-lock sims looked terrible. And it was because I just got fancy. I thought the cash thing was so obvious that I was like, I can't play Jacoby. I played 0 Jacoby in tournaments. All of my tournaments team were weird Josh Allen stuff, weird Mahomes stuff, and then I had a couple Aaron Rodgers on slots. It was why did I do that? Every week I've played well in tournament. And then this week, the week that it would have benefited me to just play well, I played terribly. And this was the week where in all of my post-lock stuff, all of the best lineups typically like simmed really well post-lock. Like, if you look, all of the top lineups that did well in tournaments, it's like,
oh, hey, this is my old buddy Skip. Yeah. I've known Skip better for a decade. Look at him.
That's a good team.
With the onslaught, with McCaffrey, with the Browns defense. So his 2v2 on this team was ETN instead of Warren, and Jackson Smith and Jigba instead of Chase. And that was it. This is just the cash team. Oh, and then the Browns instead of the Titans. That was it. And that was the SPY winning team.
Oh, that's so sharp. I love that.
It's easy. Yeah.
So easy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I texted you one of my teams, by the way. I texted you my spy team.
All right. So Sammy did Flacco with Jalen Warren as the bring back, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, JSN, Josh Palmer, Gadsden, Kittle, and the Titans defense.
So I had an iteration of this team. I was deciding between two iterations. The other iteration of this team was no Chase. I bumped it down to Higgins, and when Higgins scored that first touchdown, I was like, damn. And then it had somebody up at wide receiver, and it also had Trey McBride and a higher defense. So that was the iteration. I mean, neither of them would have smashed because Flacco didn't smash at all. But I thought, I thought kind of what I was doing in tournaments is not playing high-priced running backs and trying to get two of the high-priced receivers. I thought that would be a very unique way to build. And I just spent all this time saying that the high-priced running backs are probably better. So that kind of makes me an idiot. But yeah, I wanted a lot of Kittle. That's for sure. I wanted a lot of Kittle in that game because, with Purdy back, I think, the Niners are, and Parasol back, the Niners are finally getting close to full strength. And that's a team that you really want to be in on IMO. So I thought that having Kittle as kind of the bring back to the Arizona stuff was great. I just didn't play the Arizona stuff here. Play Arizona stuff with a Kittle bring back, you're pumped.
Yeah, Kittle. I actually don't mind Kittle here. I think Kittle's okay. Gadsden came pretty owned. I mean, 19% kind of sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
Probably we're hoping for under 15 would be my guess. And then the Flacco ownership, Flacco coming in at 13 really sucks because
not great.
He brought in some steam with Jamar too. And so, yeah, I mean, ultimately it looks easy to dunk on this team because you can say oh, why'd you play Palmer? You didn't lose because of Palmer.
No, I lost because the stack sucked. You know what I mean? At the end of and it's too high owned.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I actually liked the Higgins version of this team a little bit better. Where it was no Chase. That's a really unique way to get the Bengal stack. It's Flacco, Chase Brown, and Higgins. And but the bottom line is it really is still hard to envision scenarios where Flacco dunks when Jamar Chase doesn't. It's very difficult. So in the end, I went with this one with Jamar Chase. But I felt like not a lot of Jamar Chase teams had JSN with them. Thought that would be unique.
If it makes you feel any better, I played terribly too, and I also had Flacco.
At least I didn't play Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Jesus.
I did have a DK bring back with some steam that was fun. So I played terribly, but I did have.
Why didn't we just play cash with with two differences and just win all the money?
Cash with no Jamar Chase. If you did your cash team with anyone other than Jamar Chase, you just absolutely sent it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, boys. We're getting out of here. Sammy's got a heart out. We all got a rock. Everyone, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to John for the members. Thank you to Flock. Thank you to James. Thank you to Consigliere. Appreciate all you guys. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and I will see you guys back whenever. I don't know. Sometime soon, probably. Later, dudes.